We're looking at the first one. The absolute value of x is equal to n. That's going to be the first one. We'll cover that today. The absolute value of x is less than n. That's the second one. We'll cover that one as well today. And then the third one is x. The absolute value of x is greater than n. And we're going to get that tomorrow. All right, so what does absolute value mean? Does anyone remember what absolute value means, Benson? Yes, particularly what number? Yes. I'm trying to find out the distance of a number to 0. Okay? Can a distance ever be negative, by the way? You say, I go negative 5 feet. No, you go 5 feet forward or 5 feet backward, but they're both positive numbers. Okay, we're going to cover these two right here. In your notes, you should have a little bit of space on the right because I'm going to give you keywords for each one of these. We'll keep coming back to them. So just leave a blank there, and we'll get to that in just a moment. All right, so we're going to start off with the first one. The absolute value of x is equal to n. Can we all say that together? The absolute value of x is equal to n. So do we know what x is? Do we know what n is? No, we don't. They're both numbers. Let's get some numbers so we can get it a little bit clarified for us. Let's use the absolute value of x is equal to 4. We'll start off with that. Does anyone know what numbers fit into x for this equation? What numbers? Give me one number. You used a word there, Hayes, that was interesting. I heard Hayes say 4 or negative 4. What word am I really interested in that should be or? Okay, so thank you. It's x is equal to 4 or x is equal to negative 4. So two answers there. So is the absolute value of 4 equal to 4? Yep. Is the absolute value of negative 4 equal to 4? Yes. All right. To graph it, very easy. Draw your number line. You have your negative 4 here and your positive 4 there. And for our illustration for the beginning, I'm going to draw the 0 in between. Does anyone know what kind of circle should go on 4? It's close. Because doesn't x equal 4? What kind of circle should go on negative 4? Yeah, we'll close it up. X also equals, or could equal, I should say, negative 4. Okay. When I say x equals 4 or x equals negative 4, what does that or again mean? It could be either or. Does it have to be both at the same time? No. So this right here is a simple illustration that we're using. And let me ask you this question. How far is 4 from 0? It's 4 units. How far is negative 4 from 0? 4 units. Both positive numbers. So that's how we get our 4 there. And so going back in your notes, the word associated with the absolute value of x is equal to n is the word or. It's an or inequality, or equality, we would say, because they're equal. So you need to know or. Okay, that's or. And you're like, okay, that's, I see what you're saying there, but how do we actually work these problems out? Well, what a great question. This is the main idea I want you to get from so far everything I've written up here. Okay, and I'll put a little asterisk. If the absolute value of x equals n. Okay, so if you're dealing with one of these problems where you have an absolute value of a number equaling another number, then this is what you do to figure out what those two values are. You would write x is equal to n or x is equal to negative n. So write that down. Try to kind of digest it a little bit. You're like, wait, what is that? What does that even mean? I'll box it too so you know. This is important. That's the important part. Okay, who can, if you raise your hand, who can apply this statement to the problem we just did right here? Who can apply this to that? those two, those three. Ellie, what do you got?
The absolute value of -4
Absolute value of x is equal to 4. Therefore,
the absolute value of -4 is equal to 4.
Okay, so you're giving me like what those answers mean. So this is what I'm trying to get from you guys. If the absolute value of x is equal to 4, okay, that's right here, then how do I find what x could equal? Well, x is going to equal 4, or x is going to equal -4, right? X is going to equal 4, and then that keyword or, x is going to equal -4. Okay, that's actually all you're doing in this problem. Let me show you what it's like on example number 1. So example number 1, keep that box in mind because it's going to be very helpful on your homework. The absolute value of x minus 3 is equal to 5. Okay, that's my problem right now. And maybe you're thinking, what does that even mean? Okay, I'm going to try to explain it after we graph it. You're going to see, there's a relationship among those numbers. Okay, so here, when you get this problem, or any of these absolute value inequalities, this is what you do first. Please keep note. You're going to see this on your first problem you're going to get on your homework. If you have a number being multiplied or divided by or added, subtracted to the absolute value, like this thing right here is being added with or subtracted with or multiplied, divided, get rid of that first. Get it by itself. In this case, it's all good. All right, my first inequality is this. Ready? X minus 3 is equal to 5. That's your first inequality, or equation, I should say. It's your first one. That's it. What's the word that goes in between this one and the next one? Or. It's an or. And the second equation is going to be x minus 3 is equal to -5. -5. This is a pattern you're going to see on all these problems. If one is equal to a number, usually positive, then the other one is going to equal to the negative version of that same number. Okay, so you're like, Okay. Can you guys work this one out? Can you find out what x is?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and work it out real quick.
Why would you add 3? Because isn't it an absolute value, so wouldn't you make x plus 3?
I see. Well, see, you have to do what's in here first, then get the absolute value. So order of operations says you have to do whatever's going on here, then you find the absolute value. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Or, if you add 3 to this equation, you're going to get x is equal to -2. Okay, how many of you got x is equal to 8 or x is equal to -2? Like you can figure that out? Good. All right, I want you to write that in Set Builder. Is there a special way to combine an or set of inequalities? No. So this is what I do actually on my paper. So you see I have this or that. I draw my such that. I draw my x. Draw my braces. And here is Set Builder for this problem right here. So x is any number such that x is equal to 8 or x is equal to -2. So see how I wrote Set Builder? Okay, but now I need to graph it. I'm going to graph it up here so you can see it a little bit clearer. And I'm going to go by 2's. So I'll start with -2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. We're going to see something about the answer and the problem that relate them, the two of them. What kind of circle goes on -2? Anyone know? What kind of circle goes on -2? Close. Good. I heard whispers of it. Are you sure? Yes. What kind of circle goes on 8? Closed. All right. That's your answer. So let's see. Is it really true? Okay, let's put in 8. What's 8 minus 3?
5.
Is the absolute value of 5, 5.
Yeah.
Okay, that works great. What about -2? What's -2 minus 3? -5. What's the absolute value of -5? 5. Okay, I see how the numbers work. Okay, it's got to be one or the other. So it doesn't have to be both at the same time. It can just be one or the other. So if it said and, the number would have to be 8 and -2 at the same time, which we know can't happen. But we know that both of these fit into that. Now, there's something cool about the graph. I hope you guys can see it. So here's my graph. What's the number that's in between 8 and -2? Exactly dead center. It's in your problem. I heard it. 3. Isn't 3 right here? Okay, I'm just going to add that little tick mark. How far is 8 from 3? 2, 4, 5. How far is -2 from 3? 2, 4, 5. Anyone see the relationship? Okay, where's the 3 coming from? Where's that 5 coming from? So it's saying this. The two numbers that are 5 away from 3 are -2 and 8. That's all it's asking for. It's a range of numbers. Like you have a range of numbers like of how fast you can go. If you're a truck on the road, you can go up to 60 miles per hour, but you cannot go lower than 40 miles per hour. You have a range. So this is another range that you have between these two numbers. Do you guys see the relationship? Maybe? Yeah? Okay. Hopefully that helps you see that the numbers don't just pop up. We don't just do things just because we say to do. All right, page 423. I want you to try out number 5 on your own. And if you need help, I'll do it up here. But if you can do it on your own, great. Okay, so here's my equation, and it's an absolute value one. What kind of graph is this going to be, an and or an or? Automatically an or. Or. How do I know it's or? Because it has the
Or.
Equal to. If it's an absolute value equals something, or automatically. And it has to just have the equal sign because there are other varieties. Okay, the first one, ready guys? It's very easy to write. X minus 7 is equal to 2. So what did I just, what's my process? All I had to do was what? Drop those absolute value signs. Drop them. They're gone. Right? Isn't that all I did here? And then I write the word or, which is the next step. And then how do I find that second one? Can anyone give me the second equation? So you do, what do I write? That's it. Have you worked with these problems already? AKA, were you here yesterday? Did we do these? Yeah, once you get to this point, we've already done these problems. So solve for x on both of them. So you're going to add 7 to both sides. X equals 9, or add 7 to both sides, x equals 5. So that's your or. So what can x be in this problem?
X could equal
9
or 5.
or 5. Does 9 fit here? 9 minus 7? 2. What's the absolute value of 2? All right, does 5 work? 5 minus 7? -2, absolute value of -2. So it works. All right, set builder, ready? That's how hard it can get.
That is hard.
Oh my. I like it.
All right, that's your set builder. Go ahead. Oh, do you have a question or you're just... Okay, and here's my graph. I'll put it up here so you guys can see it. I have 5 as the smallest number. 9 is the biggest number. What kind of circle goes on 5? Question?
Never mind. Wait. Spit it out. Wait, wouldn't it be like -5? Is that means that it's separate?
Okay, so if it were -5, I put it back in here. Let's see. Is -5 minus 7 -12? And then is the absolute value of -12? Oh, that's not 2. So it doesn't work. Now, do you guys remember how this relates to that? What's the number right in between 5 and 9?
7.
Oh, you mean that number? All right, 7. And how far is 5 from 7? And how far is 9 from 7?
2.
So that's how we get this value right here. I'm basically asking, what numbers are plus or minus 2 from 7? This number is minus 2, this one's plus 2. It's a range. You're talking about a range. So that's what we're dealing with now. You guys okay with that?
Could you do that for every one?
Don't do it because it gets complicated. Like you're going to add a 2x minus 7. So then it gets a little hazy on that. But follow the process in it. It will relate still in that certain way, but I wouldn't try that when it gets more difficult. All right, back to page 421. Let's go to 421. And we'll go to the second one, and that'll be it for today. All right, the second one is the absolute value of x is less than n. What do you think? Is it an or an and? Or neither? Or both?
I'd say it's an and.
Yes.
It's an and. That's all right. It's a guess here. You guys do well. It's an and. And you're like, okay, how'd you get and? All right. This right here is read, the absolute value of x is less than n. Can you guys say that with me? The absolute value of x is less than n. No problem. And it could be less than or equal to, and it'd still be an and. Let's get some numbers here. Let's deal with this. Absolute value of x is less than 4. Can you guys give me the numbers that fit? Numbers? Benson? All right, is the absolute value of 3 less than 4? 3 works. Negative 3, absolute value of negative 3 is less than 4. Check. How many numbers?
What about 1?
What? Oh, huh. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, I'm going to start here with negative 4. Would 4... Hold on. Would 4 work?
Yeah. No.
Would negative 4 work?
No.
What kind of circles go on negative 4 and 4? What kind of circles go on then if they don't work? And then what kind of line do I get? They intersect. Yeah, do that. What's the number directly in between them? How far is 4 from 0? How far is 0 from negative 4? 4.
You're saying 0.
Excuse me, 0? 0. Actually, you know what? I heard, but I remember hearing just recently, kids saying the other way. Not going to say it anymore. Not going to say it. Never again. Ever. What is it, a disease? Okay. I forget. I've been to the children's museum, other classes. I don't know where. I really don't. But I heard it. I'm like, they're saying it. Forget it. I'm never going to say it, ever.
Say it.
Zero Academy.
I think we should say
Peer pressure.
Where was I here? Oh, yeah.
You're in the asterisk thing.
Yeah, let's go with the asterisk. If the absolute value of x is less than n, so this is like an important note, use this for your problems. If the absolute value of x is less than n, then it is an and, but you can write it this way. Then x is less than n, and, so the word and is key to that.
X is less than negative n?
Close. X is greater than negative n.
Because that makes sense because you have to flip it.
Okay, so this is confusing to some, and I get it. I get this. I think the hardest part is not this, that x is less than n. We see that from the inequality. But how'd you get x is greater than negative n?
Same thing.
Okay, look at this problem right here. Didn't we say that x is less than 4? X is less than 4.
Because that means it would go that way.
Less than 4 is this way, and then greater than, what number am I pointing to? It's greater than negative 4. So it's this space in between. No, this is it.
I wrote x is less than 4 and x is less than negative 4, so I should change it to greater.
Yes, it should be x is less than 4. You got that right. And x is greater than negative 4. So please listen. When you get this problem, something that looks like this, what do I do? Look at this note right here. You're going to write two inequalities. The first one is that absolute value dropped now less than that number. That's what you do for the first one. What word are you going to write between? And that same absolute value dropped greater than the opposite of the second number. So that's how I get that number. Yeah, and hasn't it changed both times already? Do you guys remember with the equal to? Let's go back. Right here, didn't we say x minus 7 is equal to 2? Or x minus 7 is equal to the negative 2. So it's always going to be both, the positive and the negative version. And let's do another example. Maybe that'll help out. Or, yes. Like you have this or that. Yeah, we did. I'm getting confused here. Let's go. How about this? Let's go with this and see if we can play it out. Can you tell me your question again? Yeah, write example number 2 down. What was it again?
Well, we were doing that. We did all the equals with 4, and then we did all the inequalities with and.
So far we've done all the equals with or, and all the less thans with and. There's a third, the greater than. We're not going over that today. You'll see what happens with that. But we don't have time. The absolute value of 3 plus 2x is less than 11. Do you guys notice we're using the less than symbol here? Okay, so now we're doing less than. And what word is associated with the less than when you have the absolute value? What word is associated? And. So I know it's an and. Automatically. Okay, and that means the absolute value is less than a number, which it is. Okay, the first one, can anyone tell me what it is? It's the first inequality. Help me out. I think you guys can do it. What's the first one? Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, and I will call on Harper. That's it. 3 plus 2x is less than 11. And Wyatt, the second one.
3 plus 2x is greater than negative 11.
Very nice. You know, the last class, the same person who sits there gave me that same answer.
That is so
Who sits there?
I think you should just find out. I don't know. Yeah. So it doesn't distract anyone. Okay, but here's what I get. Everyone okay with this inequality, how I got it? I just rewrote it, dropped those signs. And is everyone okay with how I got the second one? I dropped those signs again, but I switched the direction of the inequality and made it a negative 11. All right, solve for your x. So I got that one. And all the rules of inequalities apply. So if you multiply both sides by a negative, what happens to the inequality sign? Change. It goes the opposite direction. So if you multiply both sides by a negative or divide both sides by a negative, it will change the inequality sign. In this case, we didn't have to do that. How many of you got x is less than 4 and x is greater than negative 7? Okay. How would you graph that? So can someone help me out with the graph? I'll draw a line here, and I'll put negative 7 here, since it's and 4 over here. So can someone help me out with that graph? Riley, what do you think? Open circle on negative 7, open circle on 4. That's correct. And it's an and graph. And graphs tend to connect. And what's that special word? Intersect. Okay, do you guys see that? Would all these numbers in between negative 7 and 4 fit into that inequality? Let's just check 1. Can you just give me one number in between?
Yes.
Eli? 1. All right, 1 is right here. All right, what's 2 times 1? 2 plus 3? What's the absolute value of 5? It's less than 11. So that does work. And any number, negative 7 or below, 4 and above, will not fit in that inequality. It will not. Okay, the reason I drew the graph first, I'm going to circle the graph, is because it's really easy to come up with set builder. Here's set builder. X is any number such that x is greater than negative 7. You see how it's greater than negative 7? And less than 4. All I have to do is put the numbers and then put those less than signs. And I'm done. That's your set builder. Yeah, if you do it that way, you'll always get in the same direction. Say that again?
Why do you have 2 signs next to each other?
Sorry, this should be negative 7. So I'll clarify that. Negative 7. There you go. Sorry about that. I'm getting used to this board. Someone asked, Mr. Are you getting used to your board? Adjusted to your board? I don't know. The bigger question is Swivl getting adjusted to the board?
What do you like better?
What's his answer? What does he say? Do you guys know what he said? Yeah, he said. All right. Anyway, sorry.
What do you like better when it's working? When it was working?
Smart board. Because bigger. Really, that's all I want. Bigger. Neither? Homework.
What?
All right, homework is weird today. Please, it's 7 problems. 7. But listen carefully. You're not doing greater than inequalities. You're only doing the equal to and the less than. Okay, so these, and I wrote the homework's a little bit weird because I had to pick and choose which ones I wanted you to do. 17, 18, 21, 24 through 26, and then 29. Yes, that's strange because I had to pick the ones I wanted you to work on. And they start you off with a nice one, number 17. So I'll work that one with you guys. Oh, page. What page is it? Sorry? 424? 424. Tomorrow we're going to go through greater than, review these two, and hopefully we'll get them down a little bit more. All right, so number 17 is tough. We'll start off with one of the weird ones, but hopefully you guys will get what to do. So it's 2 times the absolute value of x minus 4 equals 10. All right, is the absolute value of x, is it by itself on one side? What's it being multiplied by? And what's it being subtracted with? So you just solve it. It's almost like you're trying to get it by itself like you would any other time. So what do I do with this side first? Add 4 to both sides.
Wait, how do you know that's being multiplied by this?
Right here?
Yeah, like 2.
Yeah, so the rule is when you have a symbol with a negative sign right next to each other like you do right here, it's not being multiplied. It's automatically being subtracted. Yeah. If there were 2 symbols together, like you had like a parenthesis, so I'll erase this. If you had like that, they're being multiplied. But that's not the case in this problem. to start. Okay, then what do you do to both sides to get the absolute value of x by itself? Divide by 2. And you get the absolute value of x, bless you, is equal to 7. And then you can use the rules that we talked about. So what are your two answers on that?
X equals 7 and negative 7.
Say that again.
X equals 7 and negative 7.
Say that.
Or negative 7.
Say that again then, finally.
X equals 7 or x equals negative 7.
There you go. X equals 7 or x equals negative 7. Yes, set builder. So x is any number such that x is equal to 7 or x is equal to negative 7. And then graph it. Graph it's really quick, I hope. Okay, bye, Swivl.